Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of The Birds by Aristophanes. Aristophanes was a famous comic playwright of ancient Greece, and he is also referred as the father of comedy. He has written about 40 plays, and out of that we have 11 plays completely with us even today. And it is said that he was probably born around 446 or 448 BC, and his father's name was Philippos, and he is from the island of Aegina, and he was educated in Athens. The 11 plays which are surviving now are written in the chronological order from 425 BC to 388 BC, and they are the Achernians, the Knights, the Clouds, the Vase, Peace, the Birds, Lystrata, Thesmoporesiso, the Frogs, Ecclesiso, and Plutus, meaning wealth. The play, The Birds, in Greek known as Ornithus, is a comedy and was first performed in 414 BC at the city Dionysia festival, and in that festival it won the second prize. And this story is about Pisthetorus, a middle-aged Athenian who persuades the birds of birds, and he creates a new city in the sky, and thereby he gains a control over all the communications between man and God, and finally he himself miraculously gets transformed into a bird-like god figure himself, and he replaces Zeus as the preeminent power in the cosmos, that is, he becomes the god. And the characters in this play are Euripides, Pythagoras, Trochilus, who is a servant to Epops, the Hope. Then we have a bird, a herald, a priest, a poet, an oracle monger, Meton, a geometrician, an inspector, a dealer in decrees, Iris, a parricide, Synesius, a dithyrambic poet, an informer, Prometheus, Poseidon, Tribalus, Hercules, and slaves of Pythagoras. And along with them we have some messengers and chorus of birds, which represents the world of birds. In the beginning of the play, we find two middle-aged men, Pisthetorus and Euclides. That is, Pisthetorus means trusty friend and Euclides means good hope. They come to the hillside, and why they are coming to the hillside is they are searching for Taurus, the legendary Thracian king, who metamorphosed himself to a hoppy bird. And why they have come here is they are disillusioned with the life in Athens and its law, codes, politics, false oracles and military antics, and so they want to start a new life somewhere else and believe that Hopi, that is Taurus, can advise them. So they come here, and when they are searching for him, they find a large and threatening looking bird who is actually Hopi's servant, who comes there and accuses them because it thinks they are bird catchers. But he persuades the bird and asks him to fetch his master. And the bird goes and brings Hopi himself, and Hopi tells of his life with the birds and how the existence of the birds is so easy, whether they are eating or whether they are loving, it's so pleasant and peaceful. And Pisthetorus suddenly has a brilliant idea that the birds should stop flying about like simpletons, and instead of that they should build themselves a great city in the sky. And this will not only allow them to lord it over men, that is, this will not only allow them to become the lords of men, but it will also enable them to blockade the Olympian gods, thereby making them to starve into submission in a way, because the Athenians had done that recently. That is, they had starved the island of Melos, and Melos surrendered to Athenians. So he tells, why don't we do the same to the Olympians god? Starve them so that whatever the men are offering in the world does not reach them, and thereby make the Olympian gods to surrender to the birds. And Hopi likes the idea and he says, okay, I will implement it. But one thing is, you have to convince all the other birds. So he tells the two Athenians to wait there, and he and his wife, the nightingale, they assemble all the birds in the world which arrive there like a chorus. And the moment the birds arrive there, when they see the men there, they get very angry, because according to them, mankind is their worst enemy. But Hopi persuades them to listen to the human guest and then decide what to do. And Piscatorus explains to the birds how they were the original gods before the Olympians and advises them to take back their lost powers and privileges from the Olympians. Hearing this, the birds are moved and they feel that they were the original gods and they have to take back their position. And since they do not know how to go against Olympians, they ask these Athenians itself to lead them against the gods. Then, when the chorus is delivering a brief account of the genealogy of the birds and tells how they were the divine powers ahead of the Olympians and what are the benefits of being a bird, Piscatorus and Euripides, they chew a magical root of hopi, which will transform them also into birds. Then they return back in a resemblance to a birds, because now they've almost transferred into a bird-like creatures, and they begin to organize the construction of the city in the sky, which they name as Cloud Cuckoo Land. And Piscatorus also leads a religious service in honor of the birds as the new gods, during which he gets many unwelcome human visitors pestering him, asking for employment in the new city. And the people who come looking out for the employment are a young poet who comes to the city and asks for the official poet post, an oracle monker with prophecies for sale, and a famous geometer who says that he has a set of town plans, and an imperial inspector for Athens who wants to make good money, and also a statue seller. And since all these people who come there, they try to impose the same Athenian ways which is followed in the world in the bird kingdom, Piscatorus rudely dispatches them away. And then the chorus of birds, they come forward and they tell about the laws which they want, thereby forbidding the crimes against the birds, such as catching the birds, caging the birds, stuffing them and eating them. And they also advise the festival judges to award the play the first place, or they will have to risk getting crapped on. We should remember that this play was staged for a festival, and it got the second prize in that festival. At that time, a messenger, he comes there, and he reports that the new city walls are already finished, because all the birds, they came and they worked together, and because of the collaborative efforts, the work is over by now. And then a second messenger comes there with the news that one of the Olympian gods has somehow sneaked inside the city. And this is none other than goddess Iris, and she is caught and brought down to face Piscatorus, who questions her and insults her and sends her away. And being insulted, she flies off to her father Zeus and complains about the treatment which she was given. Then a third messenger comes there and reports that there are so many unwelcome visitors who are arriving there, and that includes a rebellious youth who believes that here at last he can get the permission to beat up his father, and famous poet Synesius, who comes babbling incoherent verses, and an Athenian psychopath. A psychopath means a person who praises someone who is in power to gain benefits, and who has come there, and all these people come there to make these birds as their victims and gain something out of it, but Piscatorus sends all of them away. And then Prometheus, he somehow hides away from his enemy Zeus, and he comes there and he tells Piscatorus that Olympians are now starving because all the offerings which are given by men are no longer reaching them. And he also advises Piscatorus that he should not negotiate with the gods unless Zeus surrenders his capture and his girl Basilia, who is a sovereignty and who is a real power in Zeus' household. And finally, a delegation from Zeus comes and meets them, and this delegation composes of Zeus's brother Poseidon and Hercules and the other barbarian Tribalians. And Piscatorus easily outwits Hercules, and he makes Hercules itself to bully the other barbarian god into submission. And Poseidon is also outwitted, and Piscatorus all terms are all accepted, and Piscatorus is proclaimed the king of the gods and is presented with a lovely sovereignty as his consort. And the play ends with the strains of a wedding marriage, and the festive gathering also departs. This is the story of the play. I hope you like it, and if you feel that you have to add on something to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.